Is April the 2nd, but it looks like it's like really December, dude. And then after, I'm gonna be interviewing with Georgia and Elton over at EIT.
Alright, so today is April 10th. 2025.
I'm the one late. No, I'm late to work.
So today's April 10th, 2025. It's 3:55, and I'm just starting work right now.
So introduce yourselves.
Okay. Wait, do I look there? Should I look there?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Allie.
Hi, I'm Tiara. No program, no anything.
Oh, wait.
Okay, wait, let's restart. Okay.
We do. Okay. I'm Allie. I'm in management engineering, 1B.
Hi, I'm Tiara, and I'm also in 1B Management Engineering.
Hey, audience. My name is Ian. I'm on my first co-op, and I'm in system design and engineering.
Hi, my name is Andreas. I'm a 1B mechatronics engineering student. Well, I just almost done my, this is winter 25, so 1B term. Yeah.
Everybody, to the people watching this. My name is DeWang, and I'm in my 1B term now of management engineering.
My name is Michelle. I'm first year in AFM.
My name's Amber. I'm first year computer engineering.
So, hi, my name is Leroy. I'm currently in civil engineering, and I just finished my 1B term.
I'm Toph from Avatar. I'm in 1B. I'm studying computer science, and I'm single.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm also 1B computer science. I like solving Rubik's cubes. It's very fun.
Okay, so I'm going to ask some questions about comparison. So the first question is, what do you think differentiates this term from last term? Is it better or worse?
Ooh. I think for me this term was definitely less about the uni experience.
Yeah.
Right? Or I guess 1A was one side of the uni experience, and 1B now is the other side of the uni experience, the one that's not so great. But, they both have their pros and cons.
Not only in terms of course load, but I feel like in 1A there was so much adrenaline and excitement that everything felt easy. But now that we're tired and like sluggish almost, everything has, you need to put a lot of effort into it to actually be good.
I won't lie, I'm getting cooked more in my courses this term than last term, by a lot. I think my GPA is falling, which is not good.
I have a lot more free time during this co-op, meaning that I don't have to commit my weekends to doing homework or studying for exams or assignments. Once I get off work, I'm done work.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy to build a consistent schedule around this.
So I think it's worse because this term everyone's applying for summer co-ops, and that in combination with 7 really hard courses, it's really intense.
I don't know. I feel first term, we kind of talked about this. They're building the grounds for all this, so everyone's on an even playing field. But now we're actually building on the concepts, and the concepts are a lot more challenging. I feel I don't know. The lectures move a bit fast. So sometimes I go in a lecture, I get 25% of like the content, and then after a while I need to go YouTube it or like read over the textbook.
I know personally for me, I do feel like I've like fallen off of it, like socially wise, which is like okay.
But I guess in some other aspects it's also been better. Like I've gotten to meet more new people and I did get a job. So
I feel like I did more in like the non-academic commitments. Like I was like pretty active in like I'm in like CCF, like Chinese Canadian Fellowship. So I'm like one of the leads for their like Frosh Cell, the first year like fellowship. And I've also done like more work on Midnight Sun this term. So like I think it's a bit more busy than last term, I feel. But I think it's chill.
Not all of my life revolves around school or around just Waterloo or co-op in general.
One thing I think was pretty different for me was the weather. Like I was able to go outside a lot more. I was able to appreciate the sunlight. I was generally like pretty more active during the 1A term.
I think last term I was definitely a lot more focused on being social, making friends, trying to have fun, and really just seeing like what being at university has to offer, right? But this term, it's like a wake-up call, like, hey, you're at Waterloo, by the way.
But one really big thing I had to adjust was job, and especially the culture that comes with that. Because as everyone starts applying to jobs, it starts becoming a super centralized thing in our lives.
Yeah. I think we talked about this a lot. Co-op is like when we first entered 1B, everyone's on that grind. It's because like Stream 4 kids for engineering were like so stressed about co-op, and then they would talk about their stress about like how they wouldn't get a co-op.
But we didn't like feel it.
But we didn't feel it then. We didn't feel it then. But like when we entered 1B, everyone felt it because they're like, bro, I need to get a co-op right now.
Every time you want to talk to someone, the conversation ends up being about co-op. And that's really frustrating because sometimes I want to like hang out and have fun, but then it becomes like, oh, like, did you get a job yet? Are you applying? Like, what job did you get? How much does it pay? And it's like, yeah, it's not that great. Like last term, because everyone is like new, everyone was having fun and like talking to new people. But this term, like, that doesn't really happen anymore.
Yeah. I think I had less fun this term than
Yes,
first
same.
term. Like, I would be out every single weekend in 1A, and in 1B, tell me why I'm, like, at home every single day. I'm, like, either napping or in class.
I think it's also just like the vibe is a bit different in the sense of like I'm just like straight to work. Shout out to you guys.
Okay, at least like first term, I feel like I could like literally pull up to anyone in the caf. Like this is actually what I would do because I wouldn't want to like go up to my room. I would like sit down and just be like, oh hi, what's up? Like and make a new friend. I do that every single time. But like now, I don't know. Maybe there's just like not enough time.
You're finally realizing like what it means to be at a more prestigious and more like rigorous school, right? Not just in terms of academics, but also in terms of like seeing what the people around you are doing, and just really having that realization that it's not all fun and games. You have to put in the work.
It is better in some aspects than like I think I've closed a lot more perspective, where I reflected a lot more about like who I am as a person, like what I like to do, and just like how I am and how like stuff has like impacted me in a sense. But it has also made me like a lot more uncertain in some aspects.
And I feel like this semester went by so quick, and I felt like I did like nothing, right?
No, that's true.
Because like one day I'm like, oh yeah, like we went on scooters. We did like.
I miss those scooters.
I do think it's like you can't. It's not as like fresh. Like things are more settled. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we did like all things like that. And like this semester, all of I'm in my room or DC. Never DP.
We almost got hit by a car on a scooter.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
What does comparison mean to you, and how has this meaning changed once being in Waterloo?
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it hasn't changed as much as it should have in high school, because the high school I was from, comparison was also a big thing, like especially when like during grade 12 when everyone was applying to unis. So like but now I feel like instead of like unis, it's like everyone's comparing like jobs and stuff. So not much has changed.
Low-key in high school, I didn't think about comparison that much. Like I remember it's just like, oh, I like to do, at least for me, like I did a lot of robotics. Like I like to do this thing. Like I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna troll it. I don't know. I do think like sometimes like you'd like compare grades and stuff like that. But like I don't think it was like that.
It wasn't as ingrained into the culture.
It wasn't that serious.
Well, in high school, comparison was the bane of my existence. I hated it so much because I'd see people doing better than me, and I'd always think, if I did this much more studying, if I did this much more review, if I read this many more chapters in one night, I would have gotten that grade or higher. But it was always what I could have done. And at some point, that just burns you out.
Yeah. It's like mutated. It's like in like high school or elementary school, when I would compare myself, it would usually be like something that's not that deep, like I don't know, like a test score or maybe like looks or I don't know, something like that. And that was something that was like, it didn't mean too much in the long run.
Before coming to Waterloo, it's easy as like quote unquote like a gifted kid, right? To easily have their identity or their pride be sourced of like, even if it's very subtle, even if you know it's not healthy, is to base your identity off comparing yourself to other people and considering yourself better than others.
I don't know. It's like still been the same. Like I still like compare myself to other people. Like other people doing better. Oh, I need to like be just like them. Like when I should really be like comparing myself to like the old me. Like, oh, I've improved so much. Like my grades got so much better or whatnot.
So now in Waterloo, instead of high school, when I compare myself with others, it's more like I'm comparing myself to myself.
Yeah.
Like, yesterday I couldn't do X, Y, Z. And today it's my goal to learn X, Y, Z. And if I can't beat whoever I was yesterday, then I haven't fulfilled my goal for today.
But for me internally, comparison was, okay, not internally, but for me, in my home, my parents often measured success as like how you did in like math contests and grades and whatever. And I guess that was like also the way I attributed my success.
I feel like in high school, like the way that you would, like the bar that you would compare each other with would be like, oh, which university you got into? Oh, did you get this acceptance, right? I think now I guess it's kind of just like a different playing field.
Yeah.
In Waterloo, that's the truth.
In Waterloo, that's the truth. Because
hackathon side project.
I think it's because of co-op that everyone's feeling this pressure of having to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And because they're like, oh, if I have so many hackathon wins or if I do so many side projects, I'm gonna get into Google. Like I'm literally gonna get into Google.
It's like this huge deal because a job is a big deal. Like having that experience is a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's you know, it's bad.
Oh, it's definitely taken a much bigger role in my life.
Yeah.
Now in 1B, even in 1A, but like at university in general compared to before.
I compare it like if it's like a performance enhancing rep or it's like if it is more like something that's like once you take it, like once you experience or you do comparison a lot, right? It eventually just destroys you or like it damages you to an insane degree.
More comparison is grades plus your other stuff. But I feel like I'm like repeating myself a lot by saying like hackathon side project, all that. But it's genuinely like the truth.
In Waterloo, that's the truth.
In Waterloo, that's the truth.
It was kind of crazy in the sense of like, oh, I'm from an A for doing for projects that I was like accustomed to during high school. But at the same time, it kind of like influenced me and inspired me in a way.
But now I came here, I've realized that like everyone's expectations have entirely changed. There's still strong expectations. People still expect you to like get good jobs and like be good at like social, like be socially aware and stuff. But it's like the metrics to like success and like I guess like my parents' way of like comparing me to others has changed so much.
Especially because it's like, I feel like it's more life or death in this sense because it's like, because it's not even like just Waterloo, it's like corporate culture in general. Like they will judge you based on your resume, right? That's literally how you get the interview in the first place, and that's because like they judge on a piece of paper. Like they don't know you.
At least for me, like I struggled with this a bit like earlier in the term. I was like, oh, like wait, what am I doing? Like this is not where this is not what defines me. This is not where like no matter what I am, like I still have like so much value. I'm so loved, and this is just okay. In the end, it's just a job, right? And the rest of it, I feel like it's like a game, or it's like a comparison. But like,
and I feel like it's just like comparison can be either good or bad. It's just how you use it in the sense of like if you're comparing yourself to someone, you're like, oh, they're there, but I'm here. How am I gonna have the steps or be able to reach the same way that they are, rather than being like, oh, they're so much better than me. Like, what am I doing wrong?
There's a lot more emphasis on like who's doing better, kind of, right? And it's just the atmosphere that is kind of created at Waterloo. And I think that not only that, but like the difference in between like people and like where they're at in life is also really big.
You always feel like you could have been them, like you could have done that if you worked harder, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really like self-deprecating. It's every time someone like says something that like, you know, like they have a better job or they have better grades or something like that. Like you always think like, I really could have done that if I just worked harder.
Yeah.
Which is really frustrating because sometimes it's not just about hard work, you know? There's other factors. But
So although I wouldn't say I've defined it differently, I think that I've definitely become more aware of it and like the way that it's kind of like affecting me in a sense, you know, which I think is good. I think you know, if I didn't realize like how much I was like comparing myself to like people who are at a place where I wanted to be in the future, right?
I feel like just do your best, dude. Like it's like I wouldn't want to be in the like comparison like mindset, like the grind set here is like it's okay to work hard, but I don't think it's
Okay to take breaks too.
Yeah.
So instead of looking to other people, because there's always gonna be people who are better than you. Like, no offense, there's people better than you.
Yeah.
It's just about being better than yourself every day, and then eventually you'll make it to the finish line. You know, by the end of these 5 years, hopefully.
I think we talked about this a bit already, but like, what is your general experience of comparing yourself to others, and like, what have you like observed around you?
I think it was the first few rounds. Like I remember, like everyone was always talking, like, "Oh, like what'd you get? What'd you get?" Like, "Oh, like," and it's like I remember. I think at the beginning for the first bit, like I didn't get anything. And I remember I was like, "Am I doing something wrong? Am I the problem? Like I made my things. I made my portfolio. I got people to check over it. What's wrong? Like, what's the issue?" And it's like. I remember I would feel like really down because like people would, like I remember like it's like, "Oh guys, like rankings come out." I'm like, what do you mean? What's that? Like
For me, honestly, it was a lot worse in high school. Like, comparing myself to others, it got so bad in high school because we were all aiming for the same thing. It was like to get into the best universities and, you know, to secure your spot in the program you want.
I would say a lot of it has been negative in the sense of like, especially in high school, like it was very big for my friends back then to compare themselves to each other.
And it was so degrading because everybody had like a 97, 96, 95. And so you would do anything for extra 1% of your grade.
Especially because it was like, oh, like I'm asking you what you got your grade. So either I feel good about myself after asking you, or I feel absolutely terrible.
But now that we're here in Waterloo, there's not such an emphasis on marks. Everyone's kind of doing their own thing, whether it be a club or a design team. Everyone has their own path and goals.
I don't know. It wasn't the best experience, but I'm glad I did have this experience because now I'm going to Waterloo. I feel like I have a growth mindset when it comes to these things. It's like, oh, if someone is able to do something, I'll like learn from it, you know. But I'll still do it in my own way. And I'll still learn on what works rather than not doing it.
You know, seeing someone in your year, you know, or maybe in your program, get like a co-op placement, for example, right? That's like, quote unquote, better than yours. You know?
Every time you talk to someone, it feels like you're walking on eggshells because you don't know what you should reveal and what you shouldn't reveal.
I feel like starting out, like, I found myself, like, I was trying to tell myself, like, yo, it doesn't really matter, but, like, I would still be affected by it because there's always that, like, ego that creeps up and, like, you want to be the best, right? Or I want to be the best. I don't know about you. like for me, I think, like, there's always going to be that sense of, like, ego and pride that kind of crawls up, and
because I have a lot of people like in Stream 4, they would tell me like, hey, I got a job, and they're like, hey, don't tell anyone. Like, why would you want to tell people?
Yeah.
And because I don't want people to feel
bad.
Yeah, feel bad that maybe they don't have a job, or feel like or like hate on me for having something and they don't, or like making fun of them for having like maybe like a startup job and not like, you know, Fang, you know.
I feel like for Waterloo, it's less of marks comparison. It's more of side project, hackathon, going to like literally how racked you are outside of school as well.
Yeah.
Because like so many people, like grades here not really matters as much as other schools. Like I know U of T, like for like their Eng program, I'm pretty sure it's more grades wise. But here, because we are like looking for co-op at the same time, there's also like, oh, so what side projects have you done? So how many languages do you know? Like, oh, did you win at this hackathon?
Not all people, but some people are. This is why I don't really like it, but it's like very like showy about it. Like, oh, like look at me, guys. Did you hear that? Like, I got a co-op. Like that's so.
Yeah.
Like icky and.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, actually, I don't. Okay, LinkedIn's good because there's like, I don't know, you can apply for jobs there.
Yeah.
But I don't like the culture of that. Like,
you could look at it from two different ways.
Yeah.
I feel like you could look at it as you're in an environment where everyone else is applying themselves so much. There's people here that have dropped out and worked on startups. There's people that have like exploded on Twitter and LinkedIn and have gotten like so many calls from venture capital and whatever. There's like 11-year-olds that you're competing against for these really fucking crazy positions that you'd wish you were in.
All of that, I think, is a thing that people compare themselves to, because that's more like prominent. But this is general for like, I would say, the Eng program.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how.
Maybe
Yeah, like other
Eng and like math, I guess.
Eng and math, like because I don't know how other programs are and their competitive spirit. But like I feel like
Competitive
not
spirit.
not spirit, just competitiveness. Competitiveness is like high because of what like design team you're on.
Yeah.
When I like think about like how people like react to like what I say, I'm more of like thinking like, oh, they probably aren't like actually feeling that way, like they're probably being fake.
Yeah, I think like there's always gonna be that sense of like ego and pride that kind of crawls up, and as much as I am happy for them, there's also a part of me that is saying like, yeah, it does. I do wish that was me sometimes, you know, and that's kind of how it affects me, and I think, you know, it wasn't really a good thing.
Like they probably aren't like actually happy for me or whatnot. They're just like faking it, and then they'll probably like go off with their friends or whatever and just like talk about like, oh, what I said to them, and like it would just be the opposite of like the reaction. So I just feel like now when I talk to people in my program, it's like really difficult to like see if they're being genuine.
Yeah.
Because most times I just feel like, oh, they're like low-key, two-faced.
Which I think, you know, it was kind of like affecting the way that I was perceiving these people and like myself as well, right?
And like, I guess in a way, it could motivate you to do better, because it really is a message to tell yourself, hey, I should be applying myself as much as they are. But there comes a problem that sometimes it just becomes too overwhelming. So I think the culture, I think it just really depends on like how much of a balance you create for yourself, you know what I mean?
I think, I don't want to speak for other people, but I think a lot of people I have like observed kind of falling into the same like, you know, trap in a sense of like, because everyone's super ambitious here, right? And they all want to get to somewhere where they can be comfortable and like, you know, kind of like brag about like where they are, right?
So it's like, it doesn't feel like you're making a genuine connection with people anymore. It's more just like you're a resume now, and you just tell people what you want them to hear, you know? So that's a bit frustrating, because you're still looking for new people and new friends all the time, but it becomes hard to make that connection.
Like, I don't like that culture, because it's like, haha, I'm better than you because you don't have this and I have this and this is better. Like, that's so yucky, and I don't like that.
I've like realized that comparing yourself to others too much is not a healthy thing. there's this quote, comparison is a thief of joy, that me and my friends like to say a lot, because it's true and it's a good quote. I think a lot of people at Waterloo, honestly, a lot of people at Waterloo need to stop comparing yourself, because even if you're at the point where like you're objectively successful, like there's always going to be an Asian better than you. So really, it's like it's an endless cycle of comparing yourself to like better people, which honestly is like not good for your mental health in the long run. So yeah.
How do you think like Waterloo and co-op culture has impacted like the way we see success and what it means to be successful?
I feel like for me, it's a pretty surface level answer. I just tend to hear people talking about co-op more. I feel like, but I think in a sense, like we never really compared like each other's grades as much as we did for co-op. I don't really have a good reason to why. I think for me, I just never inherently cared as much about grades as I should. It was like, I guess in a sense, it just like added some more internalized competition. Probably not the best now that I think about it, but
I feel like we're really blessed. Like it's like a blessing and a curse in a way. Like we're really privileged to be here studying at engineering at one of the best like engineering schools in Canada, and like the people are very talented, hardworking, and I do think it's a nice environment because like I'm encouraged to like grow and to excel, right?
Because everyone's around you, and like anytime, but you said this yesterday. You said that, and anytime co-op is literally mentioned, everyone's heads turned.
Yes.
Yes. They're like the wild animals.
We're like geese. We just whip our heads around to the co-op.
No, that's not like call. That's like literally like.
Yeah, like if we hear, oh my god, interview. How you get interviewed? How you get interviewed? What company?
Which company? Which rank? How many applicants? Where?
Literally, it's
you can't mention job hunting without like 10 people asking you about your job hunt.
I do think we're also cursed because like co-op can become an idol. I feel like a lot of people, and it's very easy to get caught up in the culture where it's like, oh, like my value comes from this co-op. It's like idolatry towards this co-op. Like I'm looking for this thing to fulfill me. Like I will be happy if I just finally get a job. If I just land a job at this place.
But like this term, like especially like co-op was like honestly probably the biggest thing. Like I know a lot of friends that like started focusing less on like studying and grades. Honestly, us included, which is probably not the best thing, but like honestly, it makes sense considering like the environment we're in right now.
Success now, like in Waterloo, is determined by like your position and like how good of a job you have.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating because success isn't determined by like your job. You know? It's determined by like so many other factors.
Instead of last term where people would ask you, oh, what's your major? Or, oh, what'd you drop on this quiz?
Oh, what's
now it's, oh, did you get a job yet?
Which job afterwards?
And then they ask the money bomb after that too.
True.
Oh, how much are you making?
Maybe that's just you.
Okay, maybe my fault.
But like here, everyone like bases success off of how much they get paid or like how great of a job they get and like how big of a company it is. So now it's like my perception of success is really skewed because that's what everyone around me is like, talking about.
So I have a second year friend named Hallie, and we talk a lot. And one time she mentioned something that I thought was very interesting. So like I think she went to like another uni, and then she talked a little bit about herself. Like she's on her third co-op, by the way. And then everyone just immediately started calling her like cracked and like very successful. But then how she views herself within like the Waterloo community is like very different. In her opinion, she's only like average or around that area.
If it weren't for like the top-notch talent here at Waterloo, right? Like it could be a little hard to realize like where you were at. And I think having so many like cracked kids here, like it really puts into perspective like, sometimes like you might just be behind, and I really like the fact that there's like, no matter what, there's always someone that's gonna be more cracked than you here.
Waterloo, I guess, really skews this perception of success, and really it's because like, let's be honest, like everyone at Waterloo is successful or will be successful eventually. So I think it really creates an environment of like competition and holding yourself, I guess, in a very high regard. Or no, not necessarily, but yeah.
I think like for my program, there are like different levels. Like, oh, if you land like the big four accounting firms, then it's like, oh, you're really good. But then if you get anything like below that, like even a mid-sized firm, people are like, oh, you're like not that good. Like I remember like I would talk to people and be like, oh, I really want like a mid-sized firm as my first co-op. But then like people's reactions would be like, oh, that's like not that good.
It's very easy to lose your joy when you compare it to other people.
Yeah.
Like, it's something I don't like too much. And also like, in a way, there's like ego or like clout in like getting a certain job at a certain like, oh, like I got a job at this place. I'm working at Fang. Oh my goodness. Like,
You know, I'm guilty of the same thing. I think that oftentimes when I like perceive people, subconsciously I like to, or not I like to, but like if I see their LinkedIn profile and I see, yo, like Google, I'll be like, chill, he's more successful than I am. Okay? But I think that's definitely a byproduct of the co-op like program here.
I feel like how fast you get a co-op determines how people see how cracked you are, for example. Like, for example, I got a co-op in cycle 1, and I almost felt bad saying that I got a co-op in cycle 1, because whenever I said that, people go, oh my gosh, co-op cycle 1, that's crazy, what did you do, how did you do it, kind of thing.
a lot of the times like okay, like this sounds like kind of stupid, but it's like it's just a job, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not. I come from a very privileged place because like I don't know, like I was like lucky enough to get one, but it's like there's a lot of like ego around it, right? Like oh, did you get this? What did I get? Oh, how many interviews did you get? And blah 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 blah.
I think I would disagree with most people as in saying that co-op is not as important as you might think it is. But I think it's also because I put my values, right, into different things than what other people do. Right? So, for how it's affected me, I'd say that during 1A, it definitely affected how I perceived myself as someone. I thought I was the guy, the top candidate, right?
At the end of the day, though, I feel like it's something good, right? Co-op is not a bad thing, but I think it's like when we idolize this thing, and you find your worth, you find your fulfillment. It's like I'll be happy if I just get this. Then it's kind of destructive if you get your value as a person from this thing. You know what I mean?
It's like co-op is not your final destination. It's just like the journey in a sense.
You know, interview is not showing up the interview, or getting ghosted afterwards after an interview. Like it really hurts. And then even finishing my exams and I still don't have a job, right? Really makes you wonder like how much am I really like worthy? Am I really like?
But the thing was like Waterloo CS was such a cutthroat competition because of grades, so that was what everyone fixated on. However, when it comes to co-op, starts to come out of that question. Grades still mattered, but shit like experience, shit like you going out of your way, meeting the right people, making whatever projects, understanding these skills matters so much more. They're still looking for you being able to care about your life on top of school. And I think that's like it could probably exist as like a culture shock for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Out here doing everything I can, but it's just not enough, right? Well, obviously that ended when I got my Midnight Sun co-op, which is, in hindsight, it was a blessing in hindsight.
Yeah, like people come to Waterloo for the co-op program, right? So it makes sense that how successful you are in it kind of is reflective of how others perceive your success overall, because everyone is here pursuing the same thing, kind of, if that makes sense to you.
It's almost like how you get a co-op, where you get a co-op, and when you get a co-op determines how you stand amongst others, and I really hate that. So.
But I want to bring it to a place where it's more holistic and it's not just about, you know, how good you are at co-op finding and job hunting, because I think there's a lot more to life and there's a lot to be grateful for.
I agree.
And I guess it's like still in the same question, different font. But how has comparison impacted you in your decision making?
Yeah, I feel like all my decisions, instead of like making decisions that are best for me, I make decisions that look the best to other people.
I think at the beginning of the term, I cared a lot, but I don't think it's like necessarily like caused me to be like, oh, like I need to work, like I need to do this project just to be like this person.
It's a struggle for me really because my entire life I've been focused on school marks and grades. So to come here, you need to have sort of a mindset change.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready for that coming in.
I think the biggest way it's impacted me is probably motivation. Like I like using it as motivation. I think Dylan would agree with me. Like if we were in a different university, like outside Waterloo, I don't think either of us would be as motivated to like work hard and like work on our career.
But coming into here, I realized there's so many other things you have to balance, whether that be side projects or hackathons or clubs, just doing something other than school.
Comparison does, like, I think, affect the decision making to some degree. I don't think it affects it too crazy a lot, but it does slow down, like, what I actually do.
The thing that affected my decisions was probably kind of picking an industry to start with. I think so many people inside are going into the software industry.
Yeah. It also is like, because I am so easily like impacted by my environment, which I kind of noticed is just like, I think that also plays a part with like, you know, like if someone's saying that this is cool, this is whatever, right? Then I'll be like, oh yeah, you know. And it can really, I think it's influenced my decision a lot, right? So what jobs I apply to, and also, also even what I want to do in the future. Like,
I don't think it's necessarily influenced my decisions. I think it's like, let's say like you have two offers, like it's like, oh, just pick the one that you like more, not like you think you're gonna learn more from. Like,
So sometimes when I find myself prioritizing things other than school, I feel slightly bad because I'm like, oh, but I could be doing Calc 2 right now instead of making my project.
It's really hard because sometimes I want to do like a certain thing because I think it's best for what I want to do and like my progress in my life and career. But I like the first thought I have is what are other people gonna think, and what looks best like on my LinkedIn or on my resume. Because for me, like now that's all I care about.
Finding things that you really want to do with your free time, they don't come easily.
Yeah.
Because your free time here at Waterloo is very sparse. So the things you do with it, they should, you know, have some contribution to either your happiness or your overall productivity.
It's like you're like trying to compete with everyone. Like you just like want to do what's like best in a sense of like society's like look on it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Why can comparison be good and bad, and is there such thing, or what does healthy comparison look like to you?
Oh, is there healthy comparison? I feel like there is like some sort of healthy comparison in terms of like seeing what other people have done, like motivates you to also do more things.
I think like a lot of people here have found that they've been like trying harder just because they see everyone else working hard and they want to do that for themselves.
Like I feel more motivated to like, oh, complete this side project, or oh, these people are attending this hackathon, oh, maybe I should as well, right? I feel like that's what motivates a lot of people here.
because I think a lot of people might be able to achieve like success with unhealthy comparison. There's stories about, you know, like revenge stories where someone's worked so hard and they actually become the top of what they're doing, right?
But when you cross the line and it becomes like doing stuff for a resume or for other people or your LinkedIn or to look good, that's when it becomes unhealthy.
Right. And I think the earlier that I realized that, you know, it's not really about like being jealous of what they have, but it's like using that as like a reminder, like,
and applying it.
Yeah, like, hey, you know, if you can do it, so can you.
You need to find a balance of how healthy it is, because too much comparison then makes you look down on yourself and be like, oh, like, I'm not doing enough, or I'm not enough, or blah, 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 blah. When you are enough, like, okay, this is too inspirational, I don't want to be like this, but like, that is a little bit too much. But you know.
You need to like stay behind the line and like make sure it's like for the right reasons. Like, why are you comparing yourself to them, and like where are you using that for, like motivation wise? And also, like as I said before, I think comparing yourself to like the past you is like another like example of healthy comparison.
Actually, we both know a guy. His name's Carl, and one thing he said before is that whenever someone like talks to him or meets him for the first time, they'll always like talk about like his success and like his achievements. Like he's just for some context, he was a startup founder, and I think at some point he said that like he didn't really want to be associated with these kind of things immediately, because like it puts us like a sense of pressure and like expectation on himself,
a pedestal,
which is not healthy.
It's like I feel like you can get so caught up easily in like the cycle of, oh, this is like, oh, this goal, and then now I have this goal, and it's not bad to chase these goals, right? It's not bad to have ambition, but I feel like it gets really destructive when you idolize it, when you find your value in it, when you like seek fulfillment in these things.
Usually when my friends put out something, right, there's no like bitterness in my heart when I think about it. It's genuine respect, right? But for some reason I did have, you could feel it, like I feel like there's some bitterness, some like almost like just like why do that.
It just happens that they still manage to go out of their way, put their time into the right things, and just like meet the right people. So the fact that they're still human, or just like, and like understanding and getting to know them enough to understand they're human, really teaches me that like we are all probably capable of some of the stuff that they're doing too, and that's what pushes me.
But now it's like, ooh, that's super cool, and I'm really happy for them. Maybe one day I'll be able to make something like that as well, rather than I need to make that right now or else I'm a failure kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right?
Like attending Socratica
for inspiration
was like inspiring. Like,
Yeah.
bro, the startup was like someone 1 year older than us. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But that's
Exactly.
cool. Like, it's cool. It's not like I need to start a startup right now because I probably won't.
Like at some point in my life, I would have said, "Oh, I should have been up there too." But now I've like taken a step back and realized, like, "Whoa, hold your horses, Tia. You're not him."
Like for me, I think one thing that's really important to realize is that a lot of people out there you see that are objectively cracked. Like for example, Carl with a 7-figure startup, or like other people that have gotten like high 90s in SE and like have like landed crazy internships. They're still real human beings with real hobbies and stuff.
And one thing that's really helped is just, I think, jealousy and envy, right? I think they stem from a place of like ungratefulness for what you already have, what blessings you already have.
But for me, I guess like I've been like looking to be a lot more mindful of what I do. I've been like trying to like spend time on like doing stuff together with friends and seeing it as like succeeding together instead of doing something better than everyone else.
In these co-ops, because like even like, okay, this is kind of an interesting story. I was talking with this friend. She's in 4A Tron, and she's like, dude, like, it's not gonna solve all your problems, right? Like, I feel like sometimes like we give these things too much weight. It's like, oh, I feel unfulfilled. I will finally be happy if I just get this.
Like I've seen people with like mentality of like, oh, I want this job is better than this job, and people start attributing jobs to as like way too big of a part of someone's identity than it should be, and it creates this really unhealthy rat race.
It's either like you'll spend like the rest of your life being like, oh, why can't I do things like that instead of taking passion, or it's like, oh, like there's like I was so much better than them because I'm doing this, you're not doing that. But if you're so focused on what other people are doing that you think are negative traits, then you will eventually like imitate those traits as well.
Because like back to that friend, she was like, oh, like I have some friends that are working their 8-month co-op and they're like doing like they're at Apple, right? Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's pretty good. Like, but it's like they're still very anxious and still very worried because they're like, oh, like what? There's like 5 other interns and I need to get my full-time position once I graduate.
And now it inspires me to want to create something of my own rather than these kind of negative thoughts that, you know, you should have done that, you should have been working on your stuff harder or faster, right? Or you could have created that.
And it's like, even if you're like quote unquote winning, like
You're not.
yeah, like this thing will never truly fill you.
Yeah. It's just like, I feel like it's just uplifting each other to a degree where you learn from each other's strengths while also uplifting each other. And if you see like something where like someone needs help with something, I feel like it's just really important to help each other and just learning and inspiring each other.
Just realize that things are not that deep at the end of the day. If you don't get the job, if you don't get that interview, if you don't get that experience, it's okay. Like at the end of the day, it's not that deep. And like a few years down the line, I don't think you'll care too much. Like as much as you care now, like you won't care that much. So don't stress.
Yeah. Like define yourself as what you want to be defined as to you instead of like to others.
So take comparison as inspiration to do better and not, deconstructing all your effort so far.
That's actually really wise. So inspirational.
Yeah, wow.
Thank you.
Everything works out in the
What
end.
she said. I think, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen, So, yeah, it'll happen.
It'll either like push you to a degree where you were able to achieve a lot, like I've mentioned before, or it will like break you in a sense and like make you happy.
Hands up, bless man, make I come true. You're a bad man, calm down, football come through. Hands up, bless man, make I come true. You're a bad man, calm down, football come through. Yeah, hands up, bless man, make I come true. You're a bad man, calm down, football come through.
Your reputation. Yo, I lost my reputation, and at the same time found my inspiration in the silence of the basement. Patient, because I'm good enough. I see these people on the bus, heads down, instead of looking up, swiping for the love. Views and lies coming like a drug. Yo, I had to turn around and pull that plug. How can I fucking win? Comparing others to my kin. Comments on the colour of my skin got me flicking through. A couple say I'm the king, a couple say I got this double chin. It's fucking grim. I spend the next hour looking in the mirror, wonder if I'm really getting bigger. My hair thinner, heartbreaking as I grow a little bitter. Getting jealous of the glamour and the glitter, but it's not real life. Close my eyes, had to take my time. Realize that the life I find is not the life online. Locked my phone off and walked outside and looked up to the sun that shines.
So take it slow for me, and I'll be there for you. Hold it down. I can take it slow, just take it slow for me, and I'll be there for you. Hold it down. I can take it slow, just take it slow. I'll take it slow. Hands up, bless man, make I come true. You're a bad man, calm down, football come through. Yeah, hands up, bless man, make I come true. You're a bad man, calm down, football come through. Hands up, bless man, make I come true. You're a bad man, calm down, football come through. Yeah, hands up, bless man, make I come true. You're a bad man, calm down, football come through.
Exactly. There's always a thing. It's literally it's such a cookie cutter thing, and I feel like being able to take yourself out of that environment, like being able to like go, okay, I don't need to be doing these things. I can do them. I don't need to do them like this fucking year or next year. I can do them, in 3 years or something like that, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I think low-key it's just being in that environment for too long, like all you see is just like school, co-op, compare co-ops. Then if it's like, oh, we're in good co-ops, and it's like compare wages. Then after wages, it's like, okay, I got a full-time. Do you get a full-time? Oh yeah, I got a full-time. Okay, cool. Nice. You both have full-times. It's like, yo, how much are you making? Where are you working? Oh, I'm working at this place. Oh, it's alright. Yeah, they do this. Then after that, then it's just like, oh, yo, like where are you living right now? Oh, I'm living in Toronto. Oh, cool. I'm living where I grew up. I live with my parents. Oh, well, you're not as good as me. Okay, next. Now we're both living in Toronto. Then after Toronto, then it's just like, yo, do you have a house? Oh, no, I don't have a house. Well, I moved back actually to this area to go buy a house. Oh, I've got a house. How much is your house? Then after that, then it's just like, yo, are you having kids? Then after kids, it's just like, yo, what are your kids doing? And there's just like, oh my god, what are your kids doing?
Just in a life seat, right?
I'm being honest. Like, wait, so what are your kids doing is actually real.
No,
I didn't even get to that part yet.